He didn't go anywhere. He lives in the hearts of mankind. Because what does he represent? Maishas represents ego. Ego. The might is right. It is the law of the jungle. He's a buffalo. And of course, he's as obstinate as the buffalo. And of course, the ego is there. So all these, see, Mahisha is a very peculiar character, where half of his body is human and the other half is the buffalo. Now let us translate that into our lives, into our existence. And you'll find that every single human being has animalistic tendencies. When you allow these animalistic tendencies to overpower you or to overpower your intellect, then you become this Mahishasura. You don't want to be destroyed by Ma. You want to destroy this Mahishasura inside of you. When his ego is gone, that's the reason why you break the coconut and his balida. Because the reason for this coconut is, when you look at this coconut, the coconut has 3 eyes. It's the only fruit that has 3 eyes. There's no fruit like the coconut. It's very unique. Other fruits are similar. The mango might be similar to the pear, might be similar to, the avocado, and all of these, they're similar. But this coconut is very unique because this coconut consists of 3 parts and 3 eyes. The 3 eyes represent the ego trinity: me, myself, and I. Now, the 3 parts are the outer shell, the inner kernel, and then the water that it contains. These 3 parts. What you want to offer to Mother is the sweetness of your love, symbolized in this water contained within this coconut. You buy a coconut, you shake it, it has no water, it's no good. You must have water first, right? Then you say this is a good one, because it has water inside. It's the water you want to offer to Mother. Not the shell and the other part, but the water. So that water, they represent the sweetness and the purity of your love. That water is pure. See, if you look at the mechanism that the plant uses, the coconut plant, what it does, you see the roots are very fibrous in nature. So it absorbs, it pulls the water from wherever it is, whether it's from the ocean or any body of water. And that water goes through all these fibers, all the way from the ground, goes through the trunk, all the way up to that coconut. And it deposits in the coconut itself. See, like a miracle. So when this water gets there, the water becomes pure. It's purified in the process. So when you taste that water, the coconut water, it doesn't taste like the river water or the ocean water, right? It is sweet. How it became sweet? And it is pure. You taste it, there's no bacteria in it. So that represents the purity of our love for Mother. You want to offer to Mom. But in order to get to that state, you gotta break this shell first. And you see the stark contrast between the nature, the outer nature of this shell, and its inner counterpart. Meaning, outside this shell, the color is dark, it's very tough, it's very hard. You can't break it with your bare hands. You gotta get a heavy object to crack it open, right? So that is how the ego is. This ego is like that outer shell. It's dark in nature and it's tough also. To break that ego, that's what it requires. Now, when this ego is broken, then it reveals the purity of the mind, which is the white in complexion. You see, when a baby is born, the mind of this baby is the whiteness of this coconut. It's as pure. When the baby smiles, it's an innocent smile, right? You see only innocence in this child because this child is sinless. See? So it's so pure. So the mind is of that nature, like the newly born. But when this baby begins to grow up now, as we grow up and we evolve and we get into contact with the world out there, then what happens? You see the little child, 1 year old, you get a toy, another child grabs the toy from his hand, he gets angry. Anger comes in. You see the child got the toy, he wants it, grab the other child, toy, greed comes in. Anger, greed, lust, all these things come into, see? Uninvited they come. And they take their seat in the mind. You grew up with that now. If you don't make an effort to get rid of it, then you become tough, like the outer part of this coconut. And you see, it remains with us, and then when this begins to dominate you now, what happens is that your good sense of reasoning is lost. You become the embodiment of all these qualities. And that's what Mahishasura represents. See? So, Mahishasura was this powerful demon that was destroyed by Ma. But Mahishasura continues to live within us. So anytime you see, the ego takes over you, and all these negativities dominate you, Mahishasura is at work there. So Ma has come to destroy this terrible ill, this plague of Mahishasura, to teach all of us that we have to beware of these animalistic tendencies in our life. Now, secondly, we have these three forms of Mother: Durga Ma, Lakshmi Ma, Saraswati Ma. And these three forms of Ma are highlighted every Navratri, where 3 nights of Navratri dedicated to each form. The first 3 nights to Durga Ma, the second 3 nights to Lakshmi Ma, and the last 3 nights to Saraswati Ma. This is the sequence. Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati. 3, 3, and 3. Why so? Well, if this mind is like a garden, then, first of all, if you want to grow some healthy crops in this garden, first of all, you're going to prepare the soil. And you have to uproot all the weeds that are there. That is why you invoke Durga Ma, first as Durga Ma, to clear away, extricate all these harmful weeds from this garden. And then, the second 3 nights now, we invite Lakshmi Ma to sow the seeds of virtue. Seeds of virtue that will germinate, will take root, and then will blossom into fruits of knowledge over the last 3 nights. It is knowledge that you need to get you out of the world. That is why, the verse says that if the Guru and God are standing side by side, whose feet you're going to touch first? Guru Govind do khade kin ko lago pai. And then the disciple says, well, I'll touch the feet of my Guru first. Balihari ba Guru jo. So he says, why would you touch the feet of the Guru first? If the Guru is mortal and is Bhagwan here. And he says, Guru bade Govind ko, dekho man mein vichar. That, in my opinion, the teacher says that the Guru is even greater than God. And why? Because Haris Sirajayate Vasati, God has brought me into the world, but Guru Sirajayate Par. It is the Guru who is going to take me out. Now, with the Guru Gyan kahan se paun? So, how can knowledge be achieved without the grace of the Guru? It is the Guru that provides that knowledge for you. So, with that knowledge now, you can exit the world safely. So, Saraswati Ma, the embodiment, the giver of that knowledge, she ignites the torch of knowledge that present in the minds of the disciple that's going to lead us out of this world. Now, when we speak of God, whether in the Christian tradition, or in Islamic tradition, or in Hindu tradition, there are 3 words that describe God. And the Bible also mentioned this, in Christianity as well. There is a universal term that describes God. And these 3 words are omnipotence, omniscience, the last one is omnipresence. Omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence. What does it mean? Omnipotence means all-powerful. Omniscience means all-knowing or all-pervading. Right? Omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence mean present here and everywhere. So these 3 terms describe God. Is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. Right? Okay. Now, let us attach these three titles here, the three mothers. Which one fits who? Omnipotence would refer to who? Which of the three? Durga Ma, who is all powerful. See? All powerful. Durga Ma. Omniscience, all knowing, is Ma Saraswati. And omnipresence, all pervading, ever present in all directions, like light, Lakshmi Ma. So these three qualities that describe God are present here, they become embodied in these three forms of God. So here you have omnipotence, you have omnipresence, and you have omniscience. Isn't that beautiful? All three mothers, this is what they represent. They describe the infinite powers of Bhagwan, of God. So my dear brothers and sisters, you see the practical significance and importance of the worship of Ma. This is not a Hindu thing. It's not based on tradition. It's not based on blind faith. It's not based on paganism. It's not based on false belief. It's based on the reality of the existence of Ma. We recognize there is no place where she is now. One last thing before I conclude. When you look at the origin of Durga Ma, remember this story? You're supposed to remember this story because we read this story every Navratri here at Mahishasura. When Mahishasura was wreaking havoc, and he was suppressing everybody in the world, and he waged war with the Devatas, and he conquered the male Devatas, and he went and he sat on the throne of Indra, and he declared himself the sovereign ruler of the entire universe, and all the Devatas became perturbed, and all the saints and sages were so worried that they were preoccupied, they were mortified, and they all went together to the abode of Bhagwan Shiva, and Bhagwan Vishnu, their Brahma, and they all listened to the petitions of all these saints and sages, and there was immediate response from that point there. When from the face of Bhagwan Vishnu, the projection of light, of the energy came forth, was followed by Bhagwan Shiva, followed by all the Devatas who were present there. All these lights pulled themselves together, became one large mountainous size of light, and then that all those beams of light that came together now produce this form of Durga Ma. Right? Is that the story? That's the origin of which it came from. But the question is this: if the energies from all these devatas, they all came together to create this form of Durga Ma, right? Where did that energy come from the devatas? Yeah, if she is Adi Shakti, she is Parashakti, she is the source of energy, the creative energy, then the energy that all the devatas have that pulled together, she is also the source of that energy as well. So it's not like the devatas created her by any chance or by any means, but it's the same energy that she placed in the devatas. All those energies came together to manifest a female form because of Mahishasura's boon that rendered him all-powerful when it came to wars with the male devatas, mortals, or the Rakshas. Because the boon was that no male could destroy him. Now, another takeaway from this lesson is he underestimated the power of the women. A lot of men do that also in this age in which we speak. A lot of women, a lot of men underestimate the power of women because they see women as inferior. Mahishasura saw the women as inferior because Brahma says, well, what about the women? You're not afraid of the women? He said, no. Women cannot. I am so strong. I'm big, I'm strong, muscular. No woman can defeat me in battle. That's the reason why Ma had to appear, take this form, to conquer Mahishasura. So the lesson is, the Hindu tradition always postulated the feminine, the female, they're on top of the ladder. Men, you may agree or you may disagree. but women are smarter than men. Women are braver than men. Women are more powerful than men. Women are more spiritual than men. Check this audience at random here. How many men here, how many women here? Always outnumbered. If you go to a funeral home, or you go to a wedding, or you go to any function, you'll find always there are more women than men. Right? So, the Hindu tradition always revered our women. We always did so. Now, 500 years ago, when the Mughals invaded India, see, they had a total different perception of the level of the women and how they must be treated. And so their tradition is the women must always be subservient to the men. And they didn't have rights. They were not supposed to have rights like the men have. For example, up to now, you go to many other countries there, like Afghanistan, in Arabia, all those countries, you find that women, they're very restricted when it comes to occupying positions and so on, having an education or driving a car, or the way they dress and so on. Their rights are being deprived. They're deprived of their innate human rights. But not so in the Hindu tradition. For us, you see, if you look at three pictures, and you get a message. In one picture, you see Mother Kali standing on Lord Shiva, one foot on the chest of Lord Shiva. See that picture? He's lying there, Mother Kali standing. So it tells you that the woman is the boss. But then, there's this Murti on the wall there. Bhagwan Vishnu is lying there, and Lakshmi is massaging his feet. You say the man is the boss. But then there's a third picture. And the third one is the Ardhanarishwara, where one half is Shiva and the other half is Shakti. Who's the boss? When you talk about gender equality, it came from Sanatana Dharma. You have to fight for it. It's always existed. Always existed. Come to show the world, one half, that God is powerless without His Shakti. See, they complement each other. Purush and Prakriti complement each other, responsible for the creation of the world, for its sustenance and its final dissolution. You need that female component. In fact, it is the women, females, that give birth to the world. The greatest human being that walked this earth, mother produced him or her. That's for us how sacred and important is mother. So she manifests in all of these forms. So if you're going to have your mother at home, or the wife at home, and you're going to abuse her, or neglect her, or scorn her, or don't do your duty, and then you're going to worship your universal mother, you're just wasting time. Because every mother is an incarnation of the universal mother. She manifests in all the females. And without them, there's no world. Without the females, there's no world. The population will die. They will both become extinct. Right? So the tenderness of mother, the forgiving heart of mother, the warmth of mother's love, all of this is embodied in the divine Shakti. So that's the reason why. Women empowerment, this is a lesson that is sense in Durga Puja. It's important that all of us recognize the value, the practical sense in our lives. So devotees, with that said, we want to thank all of you for coming here tonight. But I gave out the opportunity to perform this puja because the other show that didn't show up. Who was supposed to sponsor it? He had a miscommunication. He probably said he didn't confirm, but not quite ready for it tonight. So nothing happens accidentally.